So hi everybody and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 8 and in this video we are creating a widget from scratch. But first of all, let's start with our overview like old time, and we talked here a little bit about this kind of stuff. We are here at start game, and in start game we need to create a widget. So here we are, but in this video we want also go to Trello because we want use now this Trello for team development. Why I'm using this one, I just show you it how easy that is. In some seconds I'm done. So you can see we have set this up. Here are my team members and here is my column. And I have just to add what I'm doing. And right now I said I'm creating a widget from scratch. So I go here down. Here I can add a card and say create widget. But I have here a template, which means just that I use also the colors here so they know that that we can differentiate us with colors. So I have here a template. I use this one here. And then I say here create widget with Widget from scratch video. Alright, and you can see this one is added here. And so easy is Trello, and that's why I like it. And all the team members now here this will be updated on their machine too. They have access to this one too, and they can see it. They see, you are doing this one. But of course I have to put this one from here to working because I'm right now doing it. Right now I'm doing it, so I put it here to working, and when I'm finished I do it to done. That's it, all what we needed in Trello to show the other people what we are right now doing and how nice and efficient it is. Let's continue now with our creation of this widget. So let's go here, and the first thing what we are going to do is go to our folder, go to find our game folder, go to our UI folder, open this one up, go to menu, and let's create a widget. How we do this? Right click here. On the bottom you see this user interface. Then you go down and see this widget blueprint. You click on this one down, and then you have here two options. One, it says all classes, or here the common and user widget. This is the standard what you use all time, but you can go also down here and you find the same name here, user widget here, and here you have even more options. And these other options are most time templates. Template means things, pre-made things which you can use and build up on this one. So you can see I have even my mobile here, this one here on this little thing here, I have it here as a base too. I could build up on this one too, but we want make this one here, this basic one. Or instead of clicking here, you can click this one here. That's why they made it, because it's so often used, so that when you click here, they show you it's directly, and then you can click it here. These are the few options. And then you see here on the left side, there is the symbol, and I call this the widgets all time WB for widget blueprints, and then underscore, and then the name what you want. Let's call it game menu, or what, and then double click on it. And what you can do, of course, is, let's click this one away. Most time it will pop up in this window. Instead of having a window, you can just dock it with drag and drop. Here on the top, you click on it, drag and drop it here on top. All right, and then you can switch here, very easy, and it's most time handy. Then you see this screen here, this widget screen here, and here on the left side you see the palette. There's also a library, which is empty here, and then I have here my hierarchy. Of course, this is just style. You can style this like you want. You can put it anywhere you like here and so on. But let's keep this here for now. And important is if you accidentally clicked, for example, this hierarchy away. This can happen too. Or this bind widget, whatever this one is. Let's click this one away too. I don't need it. And this library, perhaps I don't need this one too. So then you just keep that what you really need. For example, the palette, but hierarchy I would need. And let's say I have clicked it away, and now how I get it back. You go here on top to window, and you can see all these little things here. The palette here, this palette is assigned. Here is this little sign which says yes is active, and my hierarchy I want back. Then I click on this one and you can see the hierarchy is back, and when I go back, and now is hierarchy also signed. All right, so when you click this away, you get this one. And now we are here. The problem is now here, let's say we go here to common. You can open up this common. This common again are the commonly used things, which comes handy and most time used. That's why they put it in the comment section. And the normal way how you find it is just going through this one, but that would take a long. But if you are new, then you watch this through. If you are not new, then you are just going here on top to the text box and then just write what you need. This is probably the fastest way. For example, I need text, then you write text and it pops up. I need an image, then you write image and it pops up, and then you can just select it, and very fast. That's the way to go. But we have here a problem. So let's say I have here the button and I click here, and now I have here a button and this works. That's very nice and so, but what is the problem here? Normally you will see that many use a canvas. What is a canvas panel? A canvas panel is a panel where you can adjust this button, and you have this not here at start. This kind of stuff here, these buttons and all these kinds, will be later added to one main canvas, I think. And most time the other parts they are doing without canvas. But as a beginner, to make it simple, we use a canvas. At start we need anyway at least one canvas, I think, where we adjust all the alignments. So what we are doing is we search for canvas, and you see that canvas is not here in common, but normally that's very important. So go on top, right, and then there is this canvas panel, drag and drop, and now we have a canvas panel. This canvas panel, you can here scroll and to size to the thing. For example, my screen is this one here. I think this one is so the standard here, this here 1080, and that's why I keep it to this one. And then of course, if we are doing a mobile, I would not make this one. A mobile has a very strange sizing. I don't know even if there is a size for it here. I don't think that this one is mobile. Mobile is something like that. But anyway, we keep this one here up, and this is just a resolution. It has nothing to do with the end size, if it's mobile or desktop. This is just resolution size. We put it here to the 1080. Most times this works, but you have to read the documentation how this works in real. But now we have a canvas, and here I delayed the text again so I see all the things what I need. So let's see, from this point on you have to decide what you do. And let's say a main menu has buttons, has pictures and designs. We will not do all this kind of stuff here, but only the very basics one, and we start with buttons. And here in the comment section you see already a button, or again you can write here on top button and it pops up. It works too. And then you can select this one with drag and drop and put it here. That's the way. Or the second way is you just take it here and put it here in the hierarchy. That's also working. You can see now it's here. It is here, popped up here on this side. And then you can drag it from here. So these are two ways, just directly in it or just here. The next thing, let's delete this one. Let's use this one. And when we have this one, you can change here the size. You have here, let's scroll in, these little dots. And when I hover my mouse over it, you can see my mouse changes and it says you can now stretch it and make it bigger. For example, let's make it bigger. It's too small. And I stretch it like this and so on. Or the same thing you can do here in the detail panel, because I have selected this button now. You can see it's selected here and selected here, and then you go to the details panel, and here in details panel you have also the size and all this kind of stuff, which is more precise if you need something. But most time as a designer you can say, okay, where's the middle? First of all, let's say this one is around the middle. And I want the button here, the play button here, and then you can make it with eyes and say, okay, that will work out anyhow. The next thing, very important here, you see this one here, it's called the anchor. Here on the details panel, it's the anchor, and we have here different options. This anchor is very important because this anchor is all time aligning this object, what you put from here. This was a button. If you put here a text or a slider, you can see everybody has this anchor here. When I click, this anchor is here and here. This anchor is aligning to this panel here, what we have defined here at the base, this canvas panel. And what does this do is, let me demonstrate this, what it is doing. So let's make here one more button, because I want more buttons, not one button. for example. But before I make one more button, let's set the anchor, for example, in the middle and say okay. And then I go here to the hierarchy and rename this button. It is called now button 73. You can press F2 or you can right click and then go to rename manually. But you can see rename is also highlighted here with F2 for shortcut. And that's why F2 and then rename it. I call it BTN. Shortcut for button, and then the name. This button is for my button is a play button. Okay. And then let's say before I go and explain what the anchor is, I have a problem with this play button. What is the problem? How the hell the player can see that this is a play button? Because right now I know it is a play button because I wrote this button as play, but we can't see it. We have to make it visible, and that's a little bit strange that this is not integrated in the button itself. There are text block or something like that. This one you have to do on your own. Add a text block to this button. And how does it work? Is very simple. You go find text, and then you can drag and drop this text on the button. But careful, here are two ways. One is connected to the button and one is not connected to the button. This one is not connected to the button, and when we watch the hierarchy, you can see it is on the same line of the button. It's not connected. This one, and then the mistake sometimes happens is that some place this text button here and say this is now my play button and write here play. That's not working. What you have to do is connect this one here to the button. For example, you can make it here directly in it. This time it is connected with drag and drop here, and you can see when I have here this intent here, it is belongs to button, this text here. But careful, I can drag this out here again. How we can make this? So if I click this one, and this one works not here. Here I can't drag it out, but when I go here, select the text one here, and then with drag and drop, I can put it again outside. So you can see I can have it outside again, and that's why you have to check this if this is connected or not. And here you can also connect it back here as well. Here's the text. I click on it, drag and drop. This time you can see I can put it over it. This is not connected, but now I can connect it into it. Now it is connected. You can see that. That's very important. Then not that you have later when you scale the screen or something that one text is here and the button is anywhere there. So now we have this one, and there is another problem. We have, of course, select this button here, the name. So select the text again. Now you see the text to select. You go here to the details panel, and then this, careful, this here on top, it is the text description, this one here. But we want change here this text, what the player sees. And the player sees this text here in text, where it says content text, means this inner text here. And I call this one here play, because it's my play button, play. And then you can start to style this, which I will skip here because that takes a little bit of time. Style means here you go here, all this down, and all what you see here down are more or less style how you want this. Let's I show you some. For example, I want to make the color green. No, not green. Let's make it blue. And then let's say you want to make it a little bit bigger. Style, you can go here, size a little bit bigger. And then you say, I want it italic. And then you say, okay, that looks okay. And then the same thing, and then this goes on. And the same thing you do with the button as well. Here, important for the button is, we have here normal, hovered, and press. This means the mouse, the first thing what you see when the players open up the menu, he sees a button, which is this one here. But then when the player hovers with the mouse over it, you can change the color and indicate your mouse is hovered over this button and you are going to select it perhaps. And then the press means you are pressing it. And this kind of stuff you can set it to. Let's make this one fast too. For example, tint. Yeah, let's take this one. Is my normal. This is the thing what you see at start. And hovered, when my mouse goes over it, let's say you get this tint, but I make it darker. Let's say it will be dark like this. but I can't test this right now here. This, Howard, we have to test this one here in game. So that's here, I show you this later. And then pressed, let's go here, the same for pressed, let's say make it green. When it's pressed, it will be green. And then you can do here a lot of things that you have to read in the documentation. Like I said, this is style. And perhaps one more cool thing, which is style is cool, is for example, there is later animations and all this kind of stuff thing. But this one is interesting. When you go here to transform, you can make here scale, shear, and angel, something like this. Shear looks cool, I think. You can make it a little bit this style, so it looks a little bit that one. And let's say I keep this one here for now. That's okay for me. Then you place it again with your eyes, so around in the middle here, and you say, okay, that's cool. And now the problem is, wait a minute, I want... let's talk about this anchor. We have not talked about this anchor here. Like I said, this anchor here, this thing here, is the alignment to this panel here outside. Why is this important? Let's select this one here. Set the anchor, for example, this time to this one here. And look, not this one here. Let's add it to this one here for fun. Look what happens if I size this one here. You see? Look what happens with play. And this kind of stuff you have read in the documentation how this is handled in detail, because that would take too much time to explain this. And that's why I use most time just this one here that handles good. Look, again, this one here handles better. You can see the size, it stays relative in the middle. That's good. And you have test this kind of stuff all time and then look which one is best. And yeah, this kind of stuff, again, read this in the documentation. It's very important for sizing. And there's a bigger problem when you use other things like scroll box and so a vertical box and put in vertical boxes other buttons in it, and then the sizing becomes even more complicated. But that's that thing you have to check later. How this works more in detail. This is too complex for this little basic introduction. Then let's go on. There is one more thing which becomes very important. We will talk about this one, which is the seed order, but later. Before that, I want to put here more buttons, and when you have created already one button, don't do all time from scratch. Use just copy paste. How you make this? You go to the hierarchy. Right click, there is a duplicate, or Control D for shortcut, but duplicate, and then just rename this perhaps F2, and let's call this one is my option button, if you want like this, option. And of course you have to change later the text as well, so let's select this one and set the option so that the player can see. And let's do this one more time for our end button, so exit button, let's say play option exit. Yes, so add this one F2 and exit button, exit, and here as well. Anyhow, so I'm not going to make it now too correct here on the side. Select the text, go side and exit. Alright, now I have here my 3 buttons, anyhow, and now what you can also do, and which is very important, which I have not explained, when you select this button here on the top, we have this is variable. What it means that is variable is, and when I select this variable, this one is not selected. So what is the difference about this and this? The difference is, if you select this is variable, it is used later in when we switch here to graph. It can be used for logic. What I mean with that is, again, here is variable active. Here I can use it, and how? Because I have here this tick here. This one is here on left side in the variable section visible. You can see these are my 3 buttons here. One is play, that was the play, and I can click this one here and have it. But here I have not the text one. If you want even change the play anyhow a variable, even anyhow logically display text here, you can make this. You select this is a variable, compile it, go back to your graph, and now you can see this text block of, okay, I have not renamed it, I still keep it, but rename this accordingly, that you are not confused. That's why we renamed these buttons here also, because we want to use them here in this logic later, but the text block we are not using. That's why I have not renamed it, but rename them as well, and then you can use them here as well. That's this node here. And again, the text I want not use. That's why I uncheck this one. Buttons I want use. That's why we have them, because we want to give the buttons later logic. For example, I want play the game, then I want start the game. So that's so far good, but there is one more thing what we have to do, because I want not dive too much into it. Let's select this. Oops, let's select them. Shift, 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 and style them. Oh, that was not a style. I don't know why this goes there. Whatever it is that. So let's say this is, okay, like I said, styling and all this kind of stuff you are going to do. But what we need is, let's say I want to style a little bit the background. How I can make this. For example, I want to add a picture. So we have here the word image. This is one way. So let's compile, save this first. And then here, image. And then you can get this image here. Again, this anchor, you anchor that where you think it is. For example, this image can be anchored here full. Or you can make the same thing like before in the middle. It will work too. And then, let's do this here too. So it's all in the middle anyhow. And then you can scale this up. This will be my image. And then when you scale this up here, you can make it manually, or you can make it with these numbers here. And this number here is 1920. You know this from this one here, because no, this is the resolution actually. That has nothing to do with that. Sorry, read this again. This is here. This one is all-time default, I think, to 1920 by 1080. Should be. You can see it here on this corner here. Look, this one here. Look, my mouse is here, and then my mouse is here, and this is the real resolution here, right? And yeah, but like I said, you can scale this one here manually, and sometimes you can even scale this a little bit more. Doesn't matter if the corners are not visible. That will be not crash the game. That's just not a little bit. So that will still work, just so in case. But of course you can make it exactly. But if you go a little bit over it, it is to be sure that the corners are definitely covered. But like I said, normally it should work when you make it precise as well. But if not, then you just go a little bit over. And if you want to make it exactly, just write the number here exactly. 1020 and 1080 was here. And now you have this one very precise. So the point is, this is our image. Right now it looks not like an image. Again, you have here all the image appearances, style and think. But important here is, I want to have an image and I have not. Then you go to this appearance here. Here to this brush, it is called brush. And then here is a image link. Image link means now you can find in your PC an image. And let's say I have this dragon here. And now I have an image. So what you realize is probably this image is not very good. That's definitely one thing. Oh, let's make Unreal Engine logo or something like that. Who cares? Anyway, you find here an image, but the important part here is not an image. The important part is first how we adjust. Oops, that was not good. Let's take the dragon for just for fun purposes. So here is something very important. Let's say this image here can happen that it is blocking my buttons here. This one here. So how I can avoid this? And this was the set order which I mentioned before, which we have not talked. The set order determines which one is in front and back. A bigger number says I'm in front, a lower number I go to back, and then you compare. This one has, for example, when I select this image here, you can see the images here are now selected, has here the set order 0. Then you compare it to your button, and I can't even select my button. That's interesting. For right now I can't select my button. You see, that's already a problem. and that can happen. What you have to do, then you go here to the hierarchy, because here you can select it all time. Then you select it here, and then you watch the set order, and this one is the same. That's not good. And you want now to decide which one is in front, because I want to select the button, so it should be in front, a bigger number than my image. So let's say the button here should be 1, for example. And now it's in front, and you can see now the button which was behind is indeed front, and this one, the text anyhow, has another behavior than this one, but this one you have to watch how this is defined in the description of Unreal Engine. But again, the other one, the same problem. The set order is behind, is the same. And now my buttons, I put it in front, because let's compare them. This is 0, they have 1, they are in front. And yeah, that was very important. Let's compile, save. And again, I don't style anything. You find the right images here. Perhaps you would, if you have a dragon or something like that, then you would not put it here, perhaps. Okay, what was that? Okay, that was wrong selected. Then you would just style this anyhow, so that then put it here anyhow, and then I don't know. Then you make here something like you want. Make this. So let's go on. Let's go on. We have this strange. Of course, you should choose a very high resolution image. Perhaps not like this one. This is really bad here. That was anyway just for test purposes. Or if you choose a image, choose a very nice high resolution image, because this is your start screen image, and it should look good normally, not like this one. Anyway, that's not the purpose here. Let's continue. The next thing here is what I wanted to show you is how you can get images, and there are a very easy way. You go to your content browser. You can drag and drop images directly here. And what I mean with that, let's make this. Let's make this one here. Let's dock this one here. In here is. I go to my game folder again. I created a picture folder, and here, where's my image? I had here an image anywhere. Let's say I go here to my folder and find any image. Okay, I am now in my folder, and now I find an image here. And you can see I have here an image. You can see this one here. I drag and drop it directly here, and if it's compatible with Unreal Engine, then you can just drag it in, and it is important. Done. Very easy. And you can do this with every image and every resources almost. Not only image, you can do this with audio, with video, with I don't know. Most time what is you have just to see if this is compatible and is importable. But the next thing I want to show you as well is you can do this with that thing too, what I'm showing you. You go to one of your files, right click, and then show in Explorer. When you go to the Explorer, this one I showed you in the last video, a very thing is you go to your project, in this case Unreal Engine project, in document Unreal Engine project. This is the name of my project, YouTube tutorials. Open this one up, and important file folder here is content. This content is modern, and in this content, when you drop here something in, it will be realized here in this editor. This is the same thing like here. For example, I dropped this here. You can see this one here in game. Here is this game folder. Here's this UI pictures folder, and this was not there where I dropped it. I dropped it here in menu, and you can see here are this one. And you can drop them directly here as well. Directly here. Most time I drop it not in this folder, because in last Unreal Engine 4 it made problems, I think. I don't, perhaps they solved that, but what I know is when you drop it in the content folder itself, here outside content, we are in content now. Here it will work all time. Let's get me another image. I have here a poly image. Again, I drag here another image, you can see, and I drop it here directly, face PNG. And now this one works instantly as well, and you can see here a message, it's yes, import whatever. And now we have this, and when we open up this one here again, you go here in content, and you can see it is imported. And this one is very handy. I work with this one also. If I delete game or later in save game, you go here back, and go here to save and then delete something here. So we will work with this folder here, so get used to it. That's the best thing. And then we can delete here other things. I don't know what this is, and I don't know what this is. All right. So far so good. Let's go back to our thing and let's see what we have to do here. So I think we have to implement now in the next video this kind of stuff. But again, here is a lot of styling, animation, things and so on. But this is all style now, design, which means you get pictures in, you positioning them, you read the documentation, what happens, how to positioning them and how to style them. And this kind of stuff you can make on your own. Important is only that you understand the very basics, which is just this palette here, just this one hierarchy and then style. And in the next video we are implementing the functionality of them, and again very easy functionality, just a play button. And if you know already save game and load game, perhaps you can make this one as well, because we already created this one in our other games. You can just copy and paste it here, because you already created this one in another game, so we have not to do it all time again and again. And the same goes for exit. These are very basic functionality. And yeah, with that said, I would say we stop here and see us in the next video where we implement this functionality. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything else, write in the comment section. If not, see you in the next video. Have fun, good luck, bye, and like all the time, never give up.